Hi there and welcome back to my channel. I'm Rachel. Thanks for stopping by to see what we had for meals this weekend. This video is going to be a little bit different and I will be including a grocery haul and also what we did for Father's Day and some of the things that we've been doing around the house. First, I'm going to start by showing you a really quick and easy breakfast that I threw away on threw together on Saturday morning. Definitely didn't throw it away. So to start off with, I'm putting some smoked sausage into my food chopper to get it into uniform bite-sized pieces. Cameron requested that I make these pierogies. They are just the cheese pierogies that you get frozen in the freezer aisle. I believe they're Mrs. T's brand, so he enjoys them just sauteed until they're really brown on both sides. And then after they're pretty much cooked, I just added the sausage back into the pan with them, and then I just kept stirring them until they were the way we like them. And honestly, we do like our food a little on the burnt side, so that's just us. And so then I'm gonna scramble up a couple of eggs. Sorry, somebody just set off a firework in our neighborhood, so that scared me a little. So I'm putting 2 eggs in to the frying pan. And then I don't like to add any milk or other ingredients to my scrambled eggs. I don't do well with dairy anyway, so I kind of skip that, and it saves me some stomach issues later. So I just do a really quick scramble. It's also how my grandma made scrambled eggs when I was a kid, so I don't know. I just enjoy the full flavor of the eggs. And so once my eggs are all scrambled up, then I'm done. Cameron doesn't eat eggs, so I was just making eggs for myself, and then I made some for Bill later on when he was ready to eat. He was actually sleeping in on this day. He has also been working a lot of hours like I have, and so this was his day to catch up on his sleep. And then here is my breakfast, and I am that family member who will put all of their food in one bowl, and Bill is the exact opposite. He doesn't like to have his food touching most of the foods, so he will use many bowls to eat his meals, and I'm the opposite. I'm just okay, like, pile it on, it's gonna be all right. I like it like that. And like I said, we have our own preference on how done we cook things. Like our sausage, we like it extra crispy. Next, I'm just showing you my weekly meal plan, which I use Google Note to make every week and keep it on my phone. Hey there, so we're going to do a really quick grocery haul. I'm going to show you what I got today. It's nothing big, just something to get us through the next week. And I have not bought groceries in quite some time, and we have pretty much used most of what we had in stock. So we're going to start with just a quick getting back into the routine of making meals, since we haven't really been doing a whole lot of that as we've been working a lot of overtime. So to get started, I am stocking up on some things like all of these ramen noodles in the back here that you see. I have some beef, some hot and spicy chicken, the shrimp flavor, and the roast chicken. Sorry if you hear people talking in the background. It just is what it is. Always busy around here. So I have a huge bag of onions because we use onions in everything we eat. A bag of broccoli for stir fry that I'll be making. Some jalapenos that will go into the, what are they called? Jalapeno pepper. I'm totally losing it. Okay, that's real life for real. Jalapeno pepper egg rolls. That's what it is. Okay, so moving on, we have a couple of jars of beef gravy. This is my husband's favorite flavor, favorite brand of beef gravy. That'll go into a recipe that I'm making, possibly Salisbury steak and mashed potatoes. And then I have a couple of blocks of cheese, the Monterey Colby and the sharp cheddar. Okay, so I also picked up some teriyaki sauce and some soy sauce. That is going to be for the teriyaki beef and the veggie stir fry. Some cans of biscuits. I promised Cameron that I would make chicken and dumplings one day. And so I'll probably take the easy way out and use the biscuits for the dumplings. A can of cinnamon rolls that I may put into the air fryer if we decide we want something sweet. I don't like to use the oven in the summertime, so I thought that would be an easy alternative. Walmart substituted my boneless, skinless chicken thighs with frozen, so we're going to see how that goes. I've got some sausage for the jalapeno pepper egg rolls, some buttery rounds, crackers for all of the cheese blocks because I like to eat cheese and crackers. 4 pounds of ground beef, this stir fry steak, which I ordered 3, not sure why I got 4 unless they substituted for one of the sizes, not sure about that, I'll have to look. A gallon of 2% milk, hazelnut creamer, and the Swaggerty sausage patties, some peas and carrots, and some of the frozen stir fry. I like to mix some of the frozen and then add the fresh broccoli just to bulk it up a little because you never get enough broccoli, and I'm not a big fan of frozen broccoli. I like the fresh stuff. Cornbread mix for the bean soup, lasagna noodles because I'm out, a variety pack of the fruits and veggie pouches, which I use to take my meds every morning, a can of glory greens, the mixed greens, some chipotles and green chilies, cream of celery and cream of chicken soup to go into the tortellini soup that I have planned later on, a couple loaves of bread, and a bag of cereal. And that's it this time. I know it makes no sense to go out to eat after getting all of those groceries, but you see what happened is we all wanted Mexican food from our currently favorite Mexican restaurant, and it was Father's Day the next day, so we decided to celebrate a little early. We did order something different, not fajitas this time, but as always, the food was delicious. Sunday morning, we celebrated Father's Day by showering Bill with all of his favorite things, such as beef jerky and chips, snacks, candy bars, a couple of pairs of shorts, and some toiletry items. So for brunch, I guess we'll call it, since it was pretty late in the morning and going into lunchtime, I just decided to make some fried egg sandwiches. And here you're seeing that my pan wasn't quite hot enough, so my eggs weren't frying as quickly as I wanted them to. I also broke the yolk, which is okay. I did kind of want a runny yolk in my grilled cheese sandwich, but it's all right. It was still good. So I am just getting my egg to cook up. Struggling because I am not using my favorite spatula, and you know how it goes when you just have certain things that you like to use when you're cooking that make the job easier, and then when you use something else it kind of seems like an awkward task. Well, this was my day. And you see me thinking, oh, I'll just get under the egg. I mean, let's get a running start. Let's do it quick. Slide up under there and just get it. And I just seemed to be breaking the egg up even more, but it was fine. And even though I wanted a runny yolk at first, I surely wanted my egg fully cooked now at this point. So now I'm just getting things around to get the grilled cheese part of the sandwich ready. I'm just getting my butter out, and I'm going to butter 2 pieces of bread. The butter was cold out of the refrigerator, so it was a little hard to spread, but that really doesn't matter when you're making a grilled cheese sandwich. It'll melt up, and as long as you have enough butter on all pieces or sides of the bread, it'll be fine. And now I'm just flipping the 2 buttered sides together so that I can start layering my cheese and my egg before I put it back into the frying pan. And I'm just getting all of the pieces of my cooked egg on the sandwich so that there isn't any pieces hanging off the edges, and putting the top piece of bread back on. And I'm going to let this cook until the bottom piece of the bread is nice and toasted. And then I'm just going to flip it over and do the other side. And so now my sandwich is done, and I'm just going to cut it on the diagonal. And my goal is just to get the sandwich cut in half, not to be pretty or fancy, so I'm just going to use my spatula. And yeah, it does kind of smash it down, but like I said, in the end, my goal is just to get it in 2 pieces so that I can eat it. And so here is the end product. It was so delicious. Really was like better than I anticipated it being. Here is just a little view of the sweet tomato that's growing in our garden. We have like a little mix of jungle going on in our backyard, but we did a little work out there and got some jalapenos and other things planted in our garden. I was just hanging out with the dogs at this time. Other things that I had going on inside the house on Sunday were just getting some of this laundry caught up. I was just folding it on the couch while I was watching YouTube videos, and then I also was repotting and fertilizing and moving some of my house plants out onto our screened in porch so that they can live out there throughout the summer months. I do like to take them out of the house and just kind of open up my house and have a more uncluttered feeling. So the day before, we had worked on cleaning our porch up and kind of wiping down some of the furniture and cushions. I brought one of my trailing plants out and put it up on the window so that it could vine. My indoor plants are doing well. I have been doing a lot of propagating throughout the winter, so some of these plants were just little babies a couple of months ago. I am currently nursing back my dumb cane plant. We took it out on the porch way too soon and it got cold, so it lost most of its foliage, but it's beginning to grow some new leaves, and I think it's going to be okay here in a couple of weeks. It should look so much better. For Father's Day, I made a dump cake in the crock pot. It was just a can of crushed pineapple, a can of cherry pie filling, and a pineapple cake mix. I just added it all to the crock pot with a liner in it, and then just mixed it up, and then added a stick of butter, put the lid on, and let it go for a while. In the very end, I added some marshmallows to the top of it just to kind of make a sweet topping, and that was what I had on hand, so that's what I used. For the main dish, I made white chicken lasagna on the stovetop using the boneless, skinless chicken thighs, a can of green chilies, softened cream cheese, bacon bits, sharp cheddar cheese and mozzarella cheese, cream of chicken soup, and cream of celery soup, and lasagna noodles. First, I put the partially thawed chicken thighs in the skillet with some water, and I added some seasonings. I used lemon pepper, garlic powder, and some minced onion. I just sprinkled that all on top and then put the lid on and let it go for about an hour. I also added a little bit of poultry seasoning to it. I'm not a big fan of poultry seasoning, but I know that chicken kind of needs that flavor, or it just doesn't taste as good. So anyway, I went ahead and put just a tiny tad of that, and then some minced onion. After about an hour of cooking on low with the lid on, the chicken was cooked, and I just went back and broke it up into pieces with my tongs. I did not shred it, but I just kind of mashed it into bite-sized pieces. I then removed the chicken bits from the pan and then just left the juices in the bottom. And then I placed the softened brick of cream cheese into the juices and then let that cheese melt. Once that cream cheese was all kind of broken up and dispersed into the drippings, I added the cans of soup and then just kind of mixed that in together, and also just began adding the other elements such as the diced green chilies, stirring that all in and getting that cream cheese and soup mixture all incorporated. I then added a couple of dollops of sour cream just to give it a little more richness, because sometimes I'm just a little extra like that. A quick dusting of black pepper. I did drain the green chilies before I added them to the cheese sauce. I wasn't sure if I wanted to or not, but I did end up draining the liquid out of them. And then the last thing that I added was the real bacon pieces and gave it all a stir. At this point, I had my water on to boil the noodles, and I'm just letting the sauce sit, checking on that cake. It looks really like it's getting done around the edges, and so I decided that now I would add those marshmallows to the top. We didn't have any Cool Whip or anything like that, so I just found some marshmallows from when we made s'mores, and I just added some on top, put the lid on, and then let them melt down. And this was what the dump cake ended up looking like. It was very good. An ooey gooey middle and just a little bit of crispness around the edges. So here I'm taking the sauce out of the pan and I'm just adding it to the bowl with the chicken, because I'm going to now begin to start adding my noodles. I didn't have the button pushed on my camera, so I totally did not film putting the first layer of noodles in, but basically I left a little sauce in the bottom, added 4 lasagna noodles to the bottom, and then added the chicken mixture on top, and then I'm adding some cheese on top of that. Looking back, I think I would have done it a little differently and maybe not added so much of the extra shredded cheese, because this is a very cheesy dish already and it was just a lot of cheese for me. And next I'm just adding more lasagna noodles to make a second layer, and so I'm just getting those put in the skillet as, well as I can, just moving them around, crinkling them up a little bit. And then I'm adding another layer of the cream cheese and chicken mixture on top of that. And then a little more shredded cheese. I don't know, I never thought I would hear myself saying it had too much cheese, but this really did have a lot of cheese for me. And I think that, when I make it again, I will modify it a little. And I didn't go by a recipe, I just made it up as I went along. And here I'm just adding some more Parmesan cheese. Everybody else liked it a lot. I liked it a lot too. It's just, it was a little cheesy. I'll just say it again. So anyway, this is all there is to it. So basically I just put the lid back on and let it heat all the way through and get everything nice and melty. And that was it. Just served up with some green beans on the side. Sorry I didn't get any pictures of the end product, but thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you coming by our channel to see how we spent our weekend and what we did over Father's Day. Please subscribe if you want to see more videos in the future.